I paid my sister's rent, cleared her debt, and even let her borrow my car. But when she crashed it, she called the cops on me. My parents backed her up, so I gave them a gift they'll never forget. My name is Michael Carter, and I'm 32 years old. I've spent most of my adult life cleaning up after my younger sister Jessica, patching up her mistakes, covering her bills, and stepping in whenever she managed to screw something up. And she always did. Jessica was 26 but acted like she was 16. She had never held a stable job, never saved a dime, and never learned to take responsibility for anything. Somehow that had become my problem. Our parents, David and Linda Carter, had decided long ago that Jessica was too fragile for the real world. Mom always said she was a free spirit who needed time to figure things out. Dad simply refused to deal with her at all. So when she dropped out of college and moved back home, they made it my responsibility. Michael, you're older. You've always been the responsible one. Jessica just needs a little help, that's all. She'll grow up soon. That little help turned into years of financial drain. I paid her rent when she couldn't make it. I covered her credit card debt when she maxed it out on clothes and weekend trips. I paid her car insurance because she forgot. And each time, I told myself, she's my sister. She'll get it together eventually. She never did. And this time, she had gone too far. It started with a text, short, casual, as if she hadn't done anything wrong. Jessica, hey, took your car for the weekend trip. You weren't using it anyway, right? I stared at my phone, the words not fully processing. My car, the one I worked overtime for, the one I made monthly payments on. I called her immediately, my heart pounding. What do you mean you took my car? I asked, my voice tight. Jessica sighed, like I was the one being difficult. Relax, Mike. It's just for the weekend. We're going up to the cabin, remember? I never said you could take my car. You weren't even home. What's the big deal? I clenched my jaw. The big deal is that it's not yours. But before I could argue, she had already hung up. At that moment, I should have gone straight to my parents, but I knew what they'd say. Michael, it's just a car. She's your sister. Why are you always so selfish? It's not like she stole it. She's borrowing it. I let it go. I shouldn't have. The next call came at 2 a.m., waking me from a deep sleep. Jessica, sobbing. Mike, I got into an accident. I sat up so fast my head spun. Are you okay? I think so, but the car, she inhaled sharply. It's totaled. I barely heard the rest of what she said. Everything blurred. My car, my responsibility. She kept talking, voice trembling. Mike, I need you to come here. The cops, they're being so unfair. Just tell them it's all fine, okay? She wanted me to cover for her again. I took a slow breath, fingers tightening around my phone. No, I said, I won't. Silence. Then an angry scoff. Are you serious, Michael? I'm your sister. I know, I said, my voice steady. And that's the problem. Jessica went silent for a second, probably in shock that I had actually refused her. Then, just as I expected, the screaming started. Are you kidding me, Michael? She shrieked. You're really going to let your own sister deal with this alone? After everything? Oh, I knew exactly what she meant by that. Everything meant the years of bailing her out. Everything meant paying off her debts. Everything meant cleaning up the wreckage of every bad decision she had ever made. And yet, somehow, I was the bad guy. I took a deep breath, gripping the phone. You stole my car, Jess. You crashed it. And now, instead of owning up to it, you want me to take the blame. Do you even hear yourself? She let out a bitter laugh. Oh, come on, Michael. It's just money. You can afford it. I'm the one who's hurt. Oh, there it was, the Jessica special. Twisting the story, making herself the victim. I could already hear what she'd tell our parents. Michael doesn't care about his own sister. I was in an accident and he just abandoned me. And knowing them, they'd believe her. I didn't care anymore. Call Mom and Dad, I said. Maybe they'll finally take some responsibility for you. I'm done. And then I hung up. The family betrayal. The next morning, I woke up to exactly what I expected. My parents blowing up my phone. Michael, what's wrong with you? Your sister could have died. Dad, we raised you better than this. You need to step up and help your family. Mom again, the hospital bill is huge, Michael. She's your sister. I stared at the messages, feeling something I hadn't felt before. Not guilt, not frustration, just exhaustion. I ignored the texts. I ignored the calls. I ignored all of it, until my dad showed up at my apartment. I opened the door and there he stood, arms crossed, face tight with anger. Get dressed, he ordered. We're going to the hospital. Now, I almost laughed. No, we're not. Dad's eyes narrowed. Michael, you're acting like a selfish brat. Your sister needs you. I folded my arms. You mean she needs my money? He didn't even flinch. She's family, Michael. You don't just turn your back on family. I let out a slow breath. Funny how that only applies when it's me giving and Jessica taking. Dad's jaw tightened. You're making this harder than it needs to be. No, Dad, you made this harder than it needed to be when you decided that Jessica's life was my responsibility instead of yours. She's your daughter. Why don't you pay for her medical bills? We don't have that kind of money, he snapped. Ah, there it was, the real reason I was standing here having this conversation. I tilted my head. But I do, right? That's what this is about. It's always about money with you people. Dad's face turned red. Michael, this is your last chance. Either you help or you're out of this family. I laughed, a real genuine laugh. Out of this family? I repeated. Dad, I was never in it. I was just the emergency cash fund you all guilt into keeping the house running. I stepped back and grabbed the door. Good luck with Jessica, I said, looking him dead in the eyes. because I'm done. And with that, I shut the door in his face. 2 days of silence, not a single call, not a single text. I should have felt relieved. I was finally free. No more last-minute transfers to Jessica's account. No more guilt trips from Mom. No more Michael, be a good brother. But something felt off. Jessica wasn't the type to go down quietly. And then, on the third day, my world exploded. The police knock on my door. It was 7 a.m. when I heard the banging, not knocking, banging, at my front door. I yanked it open, still groggy, only to find 2 uniformed officers standing in my doorway. "Michael Carter?" one of them asked. My stomach dropped. "Yes." The taller officer pulled out a notepad. "We need to talk to you about a stolen vehicle report." My blood turned to ice. "Stolen?" The officer's face remained unreadable. "Your sister, Jessica Carter, is claiming that you stole her car, crashed it, and abandoned her at the scene." For a second, I actually laughed. "Excuse me? My car? The one I paid for? The one she took without asking?" The officer didn't react. "Do you have proof of ownership?" I stared at him. Of course I had proof. The car was in my name. But that wasn't what rattled me. It was the sheer audacity of it. Jessica had flipped the entire story, and my parents had backed her up. "She also mentioned that you threatened her," the officer continued, glancing down at his notes. "That after the accident, you refused to help her, left her stranded, and told her she'd regret it." My hands clenched into fists. "That's a complete lie." The officer glanced at his partner. "Then you won't mind coming down to the station to clear things up." I could barely breathe. Jessica hadn't just tried to guilt me this time. She had tried to destroy me. The interrogation. At the police station, I was led into a small, cold room. The fluorescent lights hummed. The metal chair was uncomfortable. I could feel my heart hammering in my chest. A different officer sat across from me, a file in his hands. "Michael, let's start from the beginning," he said. "Walk me through what happened that night." I told them everything. The stolen car, the crash, the 2 a.m. phone call, the way Jessica had demanded I cover for her, the way my parents had taken her side. The officer nodded slowly, taking notes. "Do you have any evidence of this?" My fingers twitched. "Yes." I pulled out my phone, scrolling through my messages until I found Jessica's original text, the one where she admitted to taking my car. I slid the phone across the table. "Read it." The officer picked it up. As his eyes moved across the screen, his eyebrows raised. I saw the moment he realized she was lying. Well, he murmured. "That's interesting." He left the room for a moment, and when he came back, he had a copy of Jessica's statement. I almost laughed. It was so full of lies, it was pathetic. She claimed I had taken the car while she was sleeping, that I had been drinking and crashed it, that I had abandoned her on the side of the road and left her to deal with the police. And at the bottom I saw the worst part. Witnesses, David and Linda Carter, parents confirming Jessica's story. My own parents had signed a statement against me. Burn it all down. I leaned back in my chair, heart pounding, but my voice was deadly calm. "Officer, I'd like to file my own report." The officer raised an eyebrow. "Against your sister?" "Yes." I took a deep breath and said the words that would change everything. "Jessica Carter stole my vehicle. I never gave her permission. I want to press charges." The officer hesitated. "You're sure about this?" I had never been more sure of anything in my life. "I want to file for grand theft auto," and just like that, the tables turned, the fallout lists. By the time I got home, the damage had already begun. My phone was on fire with missed calls from my parents. "Mom, Michael, what did you do?" "Drop this now. You're ruining Jessica's life." "Mom, again. She's your sister. Family forgives." And then finally, one last message from Jessica herself. "Jessica, you're dead to me." I stared at the screen, my heart pounding. Then I smiled. For the first time in my life, I finally felt free. I expected chaos, but not this fast. By the time the police finished reviewing my stolen vehicle report, Jessica had already spiraled. She wasn't just facing a minor slap on the wrist. She was looking at actual felony charges. Grand theft auto wasn't a joke, and neither was filing a false police report. But the real fireworks started when she lost the one thing she cared about most, her job. Jessica's downfall begins. It was the next morning when I got the call. Not from Jessica, not from my parents, from her employer. "Carter, this is Dana Fields from Hamilton and Company." I blinked. Jessica worked for Hamilton and Company? Why were they calling me? "Yes," I answered cautiously. Dana cleared her throat. "We're calling regarding an ongoing investigation into an employee, Jessica Carter. Your name came up in a police report, and we were hoping to verify some details." My heart skipped. I kept my voice even. "What details?" "Your sister listed you as a character witness for an internal review we're conducting. We just wanted to confirm if she was involved in any legal matters that could affect our case." I almost laughed. "Legal matters? You mean like stealing my car and filing a false report to get me arrested?" Dana went quiet. Then after a beat, "I see. That's all we needed. Thank you, Mr. Carter." Click. It took less than 3 hours for Jessica to start calling me. The breakdown: first call, 10:37 a.m. I ignored it. Second call, 10:42 a.m. ignored again. Third call, 45 a.m. Jessica's name flashed across my screen, but this time she left a voicemail. I hesitated for a moment, then played it. "Michael, I swear to God you ruined my life. What is wrong with you? They fired me. Do you hear me? They fired me. I hope you're happy, you absolute disaster." I deleted it before she could finish. Fourth call, 11:02 a.m. I answered. Jessica's voice was shaky, but not because she was sorry, because she was furious. You need to fix this. I laughed. Fix what? The mess you made. I didn't make a mess, she shrieked. I lost my job, Michael. My apartment isn't even paid off. How am I supposed to survive? I took a deep breath. Not my problem. She went silent for a second, then desperation crept back in. Michael, you know I didn't mean for things to go this far. You filed a false police report against me, but I was scared. Mom and Dad, don't bring them into this. My voice was cold. You made this choice. You thought I'd just roll over like always. You thought I'd clean up your mess. But guess what, Jess? I'm not your safety net anymore. Silence. Then her voice changed. Fake sweetness. The same voice she used to manipulate people. Please, Mike, I need your help. I don't have anywhere else to go. There it was. She wanted money. Jessica didn't care about the damage she'd done. She was scared because, for the first time, I wasn't rushing to save her. I let the silence stretch, then slowly said, "Welcome to reality, Jess," and I hung up. That evening, I heard a car pull into my driveway. I sighed. Here we go. I opened the door before they could knock. Mom and Dad stood there, arms crossed, expressions set in stone. I didn't even invite them in. What do you want? I asked. Mom's voice was sharp. You need to fix this, Michael. I crossed my arms. Fix what? Dad scowled. Your sister, she lost everything because of you. I laughed. Because of me? Or because she lied to the police? Mom's eyes narrowed. She's your sister. If you don't take her in, she'll be homeless. There it was. They wanted me to let Jessica move in. I looked them both in the eyes. No. Mom gasped like I'd slapped her. Michael, you didn't listen when I said I was done. You took her side. You called me selfish. You backed her lies. And now you want me to open my home to her? Dad's voice was low. We're family, Michael. Family forgives. I exhaled slowly, then said the words that sealed my fate. Not this time. And I shut the door in their faces. I heard Mom gasp. Dad mutter something under his breath, but I didn't care. I locked the door and walked away. Jessica's rock bottom. 3 days later, I got the final message. Jessica, I'm leaving town. You really ruined everything, you know that. You got what you wanted. Hope you can live with yourself. I sat there staring at the text. Did I feel guilty? No, because for the first time in my life, I had chosen myself. Epilogue, a new beginning. 2 months later, I moved to a new city, started a new job, built a new life. No calls from my parents, no messages from Jessica. And you know what? I didn't miss them. For the first time, I was living for me. Some nights I still thought about her, wondered if she was okay, but then I'd remember all the years I spent sacrificing myself for someone who never appreciated it, and I'd remind myself this was the only way she'd ever learn. I wasn't angry anymore. I wasn't bitter. I was just free, and I never looked back. Final update, I cut off my toxic sister and family. Here's how it ended. Hey everyone, it's been a while. A lot of you asked for an update after I cut my sister off, so here it is. Short version. Jessica is gone, my parents aren't speaking to me, and I've never felt better. But wow, the reactions to my story have been wild. Some of you fully support my decision, others think I'm a cold-hearted monster. So let's talk about it. To those who supported me, I truly appreciate the encouragement. So many of you shared your own stories about cutting off toxic family members, and it really helped me feel less alone. Setting boundaries is never easy, especially when you're raised to believe sacrifice is everything. But at some point, you have to ask yourself, sacrifice for whom and at what cost? Jessica had years to change. She had every opportunity to take responsibility for her actions, but instead she doubled down, lied, and tried to destroy my life. Choosing myself wasn't selfish, it was necessary. And honestly, the peace I feel now is something I never thought I'd have. To those who think I went too far, I hear you. I know cutting off family is a big deal, and I don't take it lightly. Some of you think I should have forgiven Jessica, helped her get back on her feet, or at least tried to repair things with my parents. But my question is, why is the burden always on me? Why should I be the one to fix things when I wasn't the one who broke them? Why should I forgive someone who not only stole from me, but tried to ruin my life with a false police report? Why should I keep giving chances when every single one was thrown back in my face? Enough is enough, and I reached that point. So here we stand. Jessica is out of my life. Last I heard, she was bouncing between friends' houses before disappearing off social media. My parents are still mad at me. They haven't spoken to me since I refused to take her in. I'm happier than ever. New job, new city, no more guilt. So what do you think? Who was right? Those who supported my decision, or those who think I should have handled it differently? Let's hear it.